Welcome back everyone to Paul's Tech News. This week, world records are smashed as the new GALAX Hall of Fame Edition RTX 3090 graphics card is overclocked past 3 GHz. AMD apparently has an RX 6700 XT in the works that might launch in March, as if launching a new GPU is anything but a cruel joke at this point. And Linus teaches us all a life lesson about how the stock market works.
Excellent!
If you need next-gen storage, the ADATA XPG GAMX S70 is an SSD that actually uses PCIe Gen 4 bandwidth, hitting read speeds up to 7,400 megabytes per second and write speeds up to 6,400 megabytes per second. It's an M.2 SSD equipped with XPG's proprietary aluminum heat spreader designed for increased surface area and airflow. The S70 comes in capacities up to 2 terabytes, supports NVMe 1.4, and features dynamic SLC caching with a DRAM cache buffer. It's backed by a 5-year warranty too, so click the sponsor link in the description for more. The Kingpin has been dethroned as GALAX has just dropped their glowing white and sparkly and bedazzled Hall of Fame RTX 3090, and shortly after launch, overclockers OGS and Rauf slapped LN2 pots onto their samples and proceeded to overclock them upwards of 3 freaking gigahertz. The peak frequency validated with the test run was 3015 megahertz to be specific, and 16 world records were broken, including a handful from GPU Pi, Unigen Superposition, and a bunch from the 3D Mark suite, including Port Royal. And yes, they did do a 2-way NVLink SLI setup, so RIP J, RIP GN, and RIP Kingpin. The top score for 3D Mark Port Royal is now 34,313, which I'm sure will now stand for all time. Maybe the EVGA team could slap one of these gaudy Hall of Fame crown LED screen things onto a Kingpin card and then see what happens there. One cool thing to point out is that these overclockers weren't using cherry-picked cards. Now GALAX does bin their GPU chips that they put in all their graphics cards to make sure that the best performing ones go into the Hall of Fame GPUs, but OGS said they were essentially using off-the-shelf cards from this series, so there might be some even better performing unicorns still out there. There are no less than 6 different variants of the GALAX Hall of Fame RTX 3090, and yes, they're all sold out. A February 3rd entry in the Eurasian Economic Commission's registry indicates that Gigabyte has registered 6 new Radeon RX 6700 XT graphics cards. Now AMD has not announced the 6700 XT, but this all but confirms it, and the product SKUs seem to show a 12GB GDDR6 memory configuration. The lineup also matches a typical product stack for launch: 1 premium Aorus card, 2 gaming cards, 2 Eagle cards, and a reference design. Now the PC Gamer article here says that an RX 6700 XT and an RX 6700 are rumored to be in the works, and that both will be based on the Navi 22 GPU. They would be sub $500 cards, launching in tandem at the end of March. After the launch, AMD and Radeon executives will presumably gather in the clubhouse suites of a massive arena where the handful of cards that weren't sold in bulk to cryptocurrency miners will be slowly lowered into the teeming mobs of everyday gamers who have been gathered there, desperate for an upgrade for their R9 270, and they'll claw and trample each other as they fight to the death for a video card. Meanwhile, up in the clubhouse level, champagne is poured and the brutal melee is eyed with casual disdain, but you can tell they're all smiling. Okay, I might have made that last part up a little bit, but it seems pretty close to what happened for the last Radeon launch. Now last week, as in the week before this past week, GameStop stock was all anyone seemed to be talking about, as the Wall Street Bets subreddit dwellers pushed to create a short squeeze situation with the stock, which many hedge funds and investment banks had severely overshorted. The frenzy even caught the attention of our friend Linus at Linus Media Group, who promised to quintuple donations made during the WAN show on Friday, January 29th, and invest that money into GM. Donations from devoted viewers of the show piled up until they reached $10,000, putting poor Linus, who said on the show he really doesn't think much of the stock market game in general, on the hook for a $50,000 investment. So I thought I'd just add things up to see how Linus was doing 1 week later. Now, first of all, he didn't drop all that money on GME. Per his Twitter, he bought about $30,000 worth of GameStop over the course of the day on Monday, some at the entry-level price and some after it dropped. And then he spent $20,000 on alternative stocks AMC and BCRX, which Wall Street Bets also likes. We will assume he went 50-50 on those. Now, AMC opened at $17.06 on Monday, February 1st, and closed at $6.83 on Friday the 5th, down 60%, meaning Linus lost $5,996 from his $10,000 investment. BCRX, meanwhile, opened at $10.75 on Monday and closed at $9.79 on Friday. Not as much of a drop, down just 9%, so Linus lost $893 from his $10K there. And GameStop, opened at $316.56 on Monday and tanked all week. Sorry, Wall Street Bets devotees, but it closed at $63.77 on Friday, down almost 80%. But like I said, Linus didn't buy all at once. His average share cost was $268.22, and he bought 110 shares for a total of $29,503.67. Those shares are now worth $7,014.70, so he's down $22,488.97 on GME and $29,376.97 overall. Now I know that the coming days could be completely different. Maybe the squeeze has not been squoze on GameStop, and Linus has indicated that he will be having the diamond hands and holding his investment. And this is not financial advice, by the way, he just likes the stock. But still, that's a rough week. Personally, I prefer blackjack. And now it's time for another review highlight. This week, an excellent fan review by Ollie from Optimum Tech. The fan in question isn't a Noctua NF-A12X25, widely hailed as the best 120mm fan on the market, but you wouldn't be blamed for thinking that, because it's the Thermaltake Toughfan 12, and it's basically a straight copy of Noctua's design. Ollie shows that the Toughfan's noise curve is right on par with Noctua's, albeit maybe a little bit louder at 1000 RPM, and the radiator cooling performance is also neck and neck, but again, just maybe a degree or two hotter. But the Toughfan also sells for $25 instead of $30, which is what the NF-A12X25 sells for, and it sports a color scheme that doesn't seem like it's just a bad inside joke that Noctua keeps playing on everyone. It is black and gray, which many people prefer. But again, Thermaltake copied Noctua, and they don't have a very good track record in that area at all. So your knockoff NF-A12X25 comes with a side of moral dilemma. Are you debasing yourself by supporting a copycat product from a company known for copycat products? Or is Thermaltake just meeting the demand for a better looking NF-A12X25 that Noctua has been slow to bring to market despite people asking for it repeatedly? I try to avoid straight up rip-off products I come across, but on the plus side, maybe this will encourage Noctua to get their Chromax version of their fan to the market more quickly. Great job on the review, Ollie. Check out the full video linked in the description if you want, guys, and subscribe to Optimum Tech for some really clean and well-made videos, especially if you like small form factor PCs. And now it's time for some tech briefs, or shorter news bits. Mass Effect Legendary Edition has been confirmed by BioWare and will launch on May 14th. It's a 4K HDR remaster that will package the entire trilogy, Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 together, along with all the single-player DLC. Mass Effect 1 is the most dated and has had the most work put into it, but overall there's a huge range of additions, from new character models to support for 60 FPS and 21:9 ultra-wide resolution on the PC. I have never played Mass Effect, but it has always been one of those widely praised titles that I wanted to give a shot, and this seems like the perfect opportunity with a remaster launching soon. And yes, there's also a brand new Mass Effect game in the series that's still in development, but that is a long way off. Apple may launch a high-end VR headset as early as 2022, and the initial specs are kind of mind-blowing. 8K resolution for each eye with a potential $3,000 price tag. It's codenamed N301 for now, and it will be able to display rich 3D graphics at that resolution, according to the article, with the help of Apple's M1 chip and specialized VR rendering methods that reduce fidelity in your peripheral vision using eye tracking. Plenty of questions arise about how quickly Apple could launch a VR headset, if their silicon is truly up to the task of pushing such a high resolution across two 8K displays, and whether they would work with existing VR APIs such as the Steam VR software development kit or build their own. One thing is for sure though, if they're looking for people who will spend thousands of dollars on a device of dubious usability simply because it has an Apple logo on it, well, they have a built-in audience. Finally, SpaceX plans to launch the first mission to space with an all-civilian crew in the last quarter of 2021. SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft will carry the 4-person crew, which already has a leader in Jared Isaacman, the founder and CEO of Shift4 Payments, who has already signed up. We don't know how much the trip is costing him, but it's probably in the millions of dollars range. It will be a multi-day mission with the capsule circling the Earth every 90 minutes, and a Super Bowl ad will also be running to help recruit the remaining 3 crew members, while also promoting a charity initiative to raise $100 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So I guess maybe everyone go buy merch at paulshardware.net, and maybe I can raise enough for one of those remaining spots. We're going to space! So there you have it, guys. Tech news for the week, and your feedback, of course, is always welcome. So please feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section down below. While you're down there, all of the articles I talked about today are linked in the description if you're interested in further reading. You can also click the like button if you enjoyed this video. Of course, check out my paulshardware.net for Paul's hardware merchandise needs, and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one in the future. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next video.